Minutes to the top of the hour, 10 a.m. We're still live here on 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It is a glorious Tuesday morning, so you know what that means. It's time for another exciting installment of Womanpreneur. Today I'm calling her Plantpreneur. I think she prefers something a little bit different. But my very special guest in studio is Ivy Enyonam, SDG Advocates. Good morning.
I like to say influencer though.
Influencer, okay. But Plantpreneur has a little ring to it.
Yeah.
But influencer for sure. I mean, you're influencing a lot of us in a positive direction for sure.
Thank
Influencer extraordinaire. Ivy Enyonam is here with us. How was the traffic this morning?
We need electric bikes in this country.
What about SkyTrain?
No, that one.
Because SkyTrain will solve a lot of problems. That one, I don't know where do you even board?
It's just more fossil fuel, and then it goes against all I'm preaching. So
absolutely, of course, because you are obviously interested in making sure we preserve this planet for as long as we can, because we only get one. We don't have a backup planet to go to.
Some people seem to think Mars is an option, but I like
definitely
Earth.
Not. Yeah, I don't know. Mars. Are there beaches on Mars? I doubt it all.
Earth is one of a kind.
Well, you're wearing green today, which very much on brand, if you will. I like to call you Plant Mama. Does anybody call you Plant Mama?
Yeah, I've had some names.
All kinds of names.
Someone calls me Plant Whisperer.
Plant Whisperer? I love that
Someone calls me Plant Mom, Plant Parent.
Plant Parent?
There's so many.
So many. I was asking my colleagues this morning.
Plant
Plant Reviver. Okay. Yeah. How many plants do you have?
Currently, the last time I counted was in October. I've probably added like 30 more since then. So let's say 380. 380 plants in total. I have about 170 of that indoors.
Okay, and the rest are outdoors?
Outdoors. So I have a balcony, and then I have a front porch. I live upstairs. So like 80% of my plants are all upstairs.
I see. So you're creating a rainforest?
Basically.
Okay.
Mini jungle.
A mini jungle. I mean, I've had the pleasure of being among some of these plants. And
the
let
last
me tell
time
you
were
something.
There, you slept.
Why are you releasing my keys? I mean, one thing about breathing good air is that it does something good for the body. Why are you passionate about SDG, about the environment, about plants, about educating, about advocating, about advising? Tell us about the journey, a little bit about your background, actually, and how you came to be in this position.
Okay, so prior to this, I had been in corporate for 13 years. Communications, I basically doubled around. I started as a media personnel, actually.
I see.
From Metro TV. And then moved on to PR, digital marketing for brands, communications, and the likes. But something happened to me. Funny enough, I never got COVID or anything like that, but something happened to me a year after COVID. I was anxious all the time. I was having panic attacks. Then I've always had allergies, but it escalated it. They call it chronic allergies. And then I became allergic to everything.
I see.
I also noticed it was around the time that all the trees were going down in my neighborhood. So it was sort of hitting me. So I would go to the hospital basically every week because I'm sneezing and coughing and can't breathe or something like that. So
were you asthmatic?
I became asthmatic as a result of it. Happy to say a year and a half free of asthma now.
Amazing.
So it's been a journey. It was a bit shocking for me, but I realized. So actually, this is the first time I'm going to tell this story. So hold on to it.
I'm all ears.
Most people think that I started this journey because I thought, let me get some plants and get better.
Okay.
But when I wanted to clean up my air, I went and I've always had at least 2 plants in my space.
Okay.
But when I wanted to feel better, I went and got 7 more plants to make it 9. And I was sleeping in my living room on the floor, and I had a dream. I know it's cliche, but it happened. And I closed my eyes and opened my eyes, and my room was full of plants.
I see.
And I had felt some calmness in myself that I hadn't felt in years. So when I woke up, I went plant shopping and bought 20 more plants.
So now you had 29 plants.
Yes.
Interesting.
And after that, it just
kind of snowballed.
Like anytime anyone pissed me off, anytime I was sad, anytime I would just go to plant shop and I'll come back with 30 plants. And it just went viral from there. So I just wanted to create the space and the feeling that I had in that dream. I just wanted to see it happen. And I was lying on my floor yesterday and I raised my head up and I saw that, yeah, I've done it.
You've arrived.
I've reached.
You've reached. How many more plants are you hoping? I think you should round it up. 380 today. The next step is 400 plants. Am I right?
You never know.
Are you also doing one of the thons, plantathon?
No.
Next thing we know, you've accumulated another 380 more. What is the end goal for the accumulation of plants?
Actually, there's no end goal.
Okay.
I think for my space, I have arrived. So I gave out a lot of plants last year. Total of about 250 to 300 plants. I gave out to friends for free. I partnered with some gardeners and just tried to put a lot of plants in people's spaces. I don't know about my space. These days, I'm doing a lot more rare collections and stuff like that because I feel like now I need to minimize the space. It's a rented apartment. So yeah, but in doing this, I just hope to use my platform to sensitize people about the importance of it. And I'm glad, like, these days almost all my friends have plants in their spaces. So sometime last year, like around this time, I came up with this thing, hashtag a plant in your space initiative.
Right.
Because I wanted to put plants in people's spaces. It felt like I needed to give a testimony of what nature has done for me and having it around. And knowing that people just are making every place in this country tile zone now, it's heartbreaking.
Truly, in 2015, the stats were something along the lines of 70% of the greater Accra region is concrete. I shudder to think what that percentage is these days. The year is 2024, and that's a bit too crazy. People put up new structures, and it's, like you said, tiles everywhere. We're not thinking about the greenery at all.
And I ask people, like, so usually when I see that, I'll ask, why do you? And they'll tell you, plants never my high fee. And I'm like, wait, no, actually, if you know the cycle of plants, you know that they take care of themselves.
I see.
When a leaf drops, you have the option of sweeping it or gathering it all together and mixing it back into the soil. And it becomes compost. And the plants love that. So where is the dirt? The dirt is actually the plastic we're throwing around.
That's right. What is impacting the environment, killing us all.
The leaves dropping it's not your business. Like, they want the leaves to drop because they would use it to make food. And that's how they continue with their cycle. You get it? And it's just weird that we think that they are a nuisance, but maybe we are actually the nuisance.
I tend to agree with that. So through your journey of collecting plants, one might say that you've become, let's say, the authority on plants. I think plants, and I immediately think ivy, Enyonam, like, I think of you immediately. You say more and more people are coming to you for the purposes of consultation. What are some of the top questions that you're asked as far as plants are concerned?
My plant is dying. Why?
Okay.
And then they'll take a picture of it. And then maybe the other question would be, will it really clean my air? But in the case of plants dying, it's mostly about the soil mix.
Okay.
Most of the things.
We can see, if you're watching on Facebook here, you can see Enyonam surrounded by some of these plants. Not all 380 of them. A good maybe 60 or so in this picture. Yeah.
Actually, it's about 80.
About 80. Even you can count. Wow.
No, I know how many plants are
per section.
Space,
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's really, whenever I buy the plants, they die. So I've stopped buying it. Why is it that yours is thriving? And the truth is, I don't water my plants every day, so I can't say that they take my time. Maximum is twice a week.
I see.
They don't need you. They just need water and light from time to time.
Okay.
You know? So in actual fact, you're the one who needs them. So you need to pay more attention to it. I also realize people who do not believe, just like I know people think it's cliche, but when you believe in something, it thrives with you. You know, so when you believe that this plant is in your space and you're going to do everything in your power to take care of it, it will thrive. So when people come and they say, this one day I'll kill it, I won't give you the plant again. Because I feel like from the get-go, you have decided that it will die, you know. So those are some of the questions or things I deal with every day. Like, I open my socials and there's so many questions. My plant is dying. I want it had to kill plants that will thrive in my space. I don't have a lot of light in my room, and it's just endless. But I try to explain to them the reason the plant needs light, the reason it needs the type of soil it does, you know. Because the truth is, for plants, what I do is, I started by killing a few, obviously.
Okay.
And then I realized, I tried using the apps that people have, and I realized, no, that app doesn't work for our climate.
I see. Okay.
You know, so I put the app down and I started to watch the plant and let it tell me. So I would read about its origin, where it grows better at, what type of climates they have there, what type of weather they have there, and then I try to imitate that for the plants. And with time, like, it's just taken off.
Amazing stuff. I wish we had more time to get into the meat of the matter. We'll certainly have to shelve this and do a part 2, if you will. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, you can see some of the plants in Ivy's space. But plug the socials for us so that we can head over to the socials, check out what's going on there. And I'm sure if we have more questions, we can fire them your way. Are questions open generally? Are the DMs open for questions?
My manager says I should start charging consultation fees.
So hurry now while stocks last. You can't get this free
so
for much longer before manager decides to step in. What are the socials? We want to follow you.
So it's actually very simple. Ivy Enyonam, Enyonam _
Okay.
Everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, however they choose to call it.
We have to accept that it is X now. But this has been wonderful, albeit short. So we definitely have to do a part 2 and focus especially on SDG, achieving some of our SDG goals. It's very important. I think we can schedule this for Friday where we have a lot of time. It's more relaxed and we'll get into the meat of the matter. But I'm so grateful that you could stop by and share a little bit with us. Go and follow. Again, the socials are
Ivy Enyonam _ everywhere.
Let's have a greener 2024. We need more plants. We need the air to be fresher so we can live longer.
Yeah.
Ivy, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Helen.
Well, this is where we bid you adios, au revoir, and goodbye.